you're watching this video, then you're probably a creator looking to earn more, get more views, get more followers, and take things a little bit more seriously than maybe the rest of the creators that you're competing against. And I wanted to show you through some things that are going to make your life so much easier to get more views without making necessarily any more content and without really working any harder. This is specifically about Instagram, but all of these things do apply to a lot of other platforms as well, plus or minus a couple of things, but we'll get into that. And just so you know, so we are actually who we say we are. We are FansLink, a company who has done $11.5 million in the last year for creators, over 2 billion views, and over 200 creators served. Also, for creators only, we have a Telegram group which has got loads of free advice that actually makes a difference to your socials, getting more views, getting more followers, and therefore overall earning you more money. If you want to get accepted into this, I'll drop a link in the description below. And also, you've got to message our agency page on Instagram with a voice note to get approved, to make sure that we're only bringing in people who actually qualify and are actually serious this year about making a lot more money and genuinely want to grow on Instagram. So head into there, loads of advice in there already, along with this video. What are we actually talking about here? And today we're running through this creator who, in the last 30 days, we've done an extra 25,000 followers on this account. This is an account that wasn't being used. The audience was totally unengaged, and we've come in, creative-directed content, changed a lot about how this creator was working, and I want to give the same advice to you today. And by the way, no, she didn't make 497 videos this month. She made a lot less than that, but we made that content do a lot more work. We'll get to that in a second. Obviously, 73.4K, this is the creator's account, as well as something else I wanted to run you through, which I don't think anybody's speaking about right now, so you're going to get a lot of value out of that too. But look, this is the kind of things that we are hearing from creators every single day, right? I'm shadow banned, all right? It's being said so many times at the minute, to the point where creators are talking to each other in different groups, asking people different advice, and a lot of people don't actually understand how the platform itself works, right? So you may be asking a lot of creators around you, some creators that are bigger than you. Don't always take their advice, because these guys are acting off of their kind of experience, and a lot of them sort of leaning, yeah, it kind of works for me, but for other creators will have different experiences, whereas we actually look at how the platforms work. So what we advise creators comes from the people themselves, okay? So what else are we hearing? I've got ghost or bot followers and they're not engaging with my content. These kind of things that we hear all the time. I'm stuck at 200 views. Every video I post, we just stuck at the same amount of views. I'm posting daily. You know, creators are starting to work harder. Creators are starting to realize that it takes more than a few posts a week to actually start making moves on social media. I'm trying trends. Obviously, people trying to use what has worked for other people, putting it into what they're doing and hoping it works too. You're growing your network. You're starting to speak to more creators. You're starting to educate yourself by asking bigger creators, hey, what's working for you? Are you doing this too? And really trying to understand the platform. And one of the things I'm hearing a lot at the minute is, I worked so hard on this specific video and it didn't get me any more views. You know, some creators are putting a lot of effort into a single reel, a single video, and it's not necessarily translating into more views. You know, this video may have taken a whole day, right? And it's got me like 10,000 views. But you notice most videos that go viral are actually really simple and almost amateur looking content as well, right? So sometimes working harder on a piece of content doesn't mean more views and doesn't mean more followers and money. Okay, so just quickly then, I want to just give you some things really quick, real things to change that are actually going to make a difference from day one. So after that next like minute, you can make all these changes and change the way you think about Instagram, and you'll already start seeing a difference, okay? So first one being, you want to make sure that you're uploading the content in the highest quality possible. This is actually a setting on your Instagram. By the way, guys, we do get more in depth if you already kind of understand this stuff. So upload at the highest quality you can. On settings, account, daily usage, upload on the highest quality. When you go to post as well on your account, right, you want to click advanced options before you click the post button and scroll down and put the toggle on, which is upload in the highest quality. Okay, another thing, appear in search results, right? You can actually select on Instagram an option to allow your content to appear in people's search results when they're Googling you, right? They're Googling creators, different kinds of creators that they might want to see, different kinds of content that they might want to see. So if you want to make sure that you are getting more reach and you're not having to work more for the amount of reach that you're getting, make sure this is on. Show account suggestion, again, help Instagram recommend your profile to similar audiences. So make sure this is on too. Again, if you just follow this, you'll be able to find it. I don't want to waste your time. Let's keep moving through it. Okay, switch to a creator account, right? A lot of these you won't even be able to see anyway if you're not a creator account. So if your account is not a professional creator account, make it one and you'll have a lot better time seeing things like your analytics, right? It is the biggest thing. If you're not looking into data with your content at the minute, right, it is a big disadvantage, and you are going to get left behind this year, especially with the amount of content coming in that's created with AI washing you all out, right? There's a lot of competition with even more creators jumping on the platform. Never mind, you're having to now compete with AI. So you've got to have every single edge and advantage to keep yourself ahead of the crowd. Turn cross-posting on, all right? So you can actually post to Facebook and Threads in a single click. If you're not doing this, making most of Facebook and Threads along with your Instagram, get it done. You're not having to do anything else other than clicking that toggle on when you go to post. And it's also inside your settings tab. Obviously, use trial rules. We're going to deep dive this in a second. It's actually one of the biggest things that you need to be focusing on. And yes, it's been around for a little bit. Every account now has this option. If you don't, shoot me a message and we'll help you fix that. But I'm going to show you how you need to use trial rules in the current form of Instagram. Add topics and hashtags. Obviously, topics and hashtags are stuff you might already be using. Especially when you're a new account, you want to just help Instagram find that audience a little bit quicker. And you want to make sure they're highly relevant. Don't have like hashtag FYP, hashtag explore page. It doesn't do anything for your content. Use specific things to do with the actual niche of your content, okay? If you want me to literally give you 5 hashtags, send me your reel, right? Comment like your Instagram, I'll message you, send me your reel, and I'll tell you the 5 hashtags that you should be using. As well as that, avoid shadow ban triggers, okay? Things like repetitive actions, stop spam posting, stop mass DMing, like spam, like share my video, like don't be doing any of this. You're giving yourself a hard time. That's just some easy things that you can implement now without having to wait around to actually start seeing some differences being made. And obviously, we want to make some more money as well with this. Okay then. This is an updated trial rules masterclass. Some of you creators may have seen me talk about this on Instagram. However, this is now what is required for trial rules. And this is something that you can be doing without having to actually create any more content, right? So, first things first, right? 1 video equals 3 to 5 variations. You do not need new content. Duplicate 1 winning video and test small changes, okay? Pick a video, duplicate it 3 or 5 times, change 1 variable only. Now, you can do this in like Instagram edits, CapCut, iMovie, right? Put that video in there, add 5 different captions. You got 5 pieces of content there. You could then post to trial reels, all right? And they're individual pieces of content. All right. The other thing you can do is maybe change the order of things. So if it's a talking head video, if you're talking to the camera, and you can actually change the order in which that is done. So you maybe start with a really crazy part, and then maybe you want to move the crazy part to 2/3 in, and we start with a different hook, for example. So you can make that content do more work for you. This is what we're doing with all of our creators right now, and that's what our editing team is very busy doing. Test better hooks, right? The first 2 or 3 seconds decide whether cold viewers keep watching, and actually having viewers watch past those first 3 seconds is one of the biggest things that Instagram look for. If you have that, you're going to get pushed out to a lot more people, right? So record that talking head, right? Use that talking head, and then when you're actually shooting that video, record like 5 different versions of that first 3 seconds. Can you have more energy? Can you be more like reserved? Can you be whispering? Can you be closer? Okay, try these different things out, and then you can just make five versions of the same video with different hooks. Change text and captions, I mentioned it in here, but you can literally, I said 5, right? You can do this like 100 times with the same winning video. Test different things, use it. This is your academy, this is your testing ground, okay? So test different kinds of captions, more sexual ones, more funny ones, more relatable ones, right? You wanna be using this and abusing this, and you're actually not having to create any more content, right? No more content is being created here. Swap the audio, right? They do actually check the audio as well with things. So you might want to use a different trending sound. You might want to add sound effects, for example, or you might want to change the voiceover if you're doing like a day in the life kind of thing. Use audio swaps to help with variations, right? As well as that, number 5, then you can actually essentially add footage on top of a video. So if you're doing a talking head, maybe you add like a little clip of something you're talking about. And then you don't have to actually change the order of the edit, but you can just add pictures in or add videos in to create a unique piece of content. Therefore, not having to film again, you're creating another piece of content out of the same thing you have recorded, right? Number 6, make sure you're running the test properly. Okay, so you can make 3 to 5 variations of a video. You can swap a background audio each time. You can change captions across the screen, and you can actually create like 30 reels very, very quickly. Okay, this is something that our editors are like overtime running right now and creating loads of different versions, so the creator doesn't have to work any harder to earn more money and to get more followers. Okay, So this is something that's super important that you have to be using. If this sounds so complicated, like, Tom, where do I even start with this? Again, shoot me a message on Instagram, whether it's on the agency Instagram page, which is here, or my Instagram as well, which is on screen right now. But shoot me a message purely because if you want to grow this year, if you want to take things seriously, you're going to have to start doing some more advanced things like this, okay? If you want to take off and get a lot more cash, this is just then a little winning formula, right? Change one variable, post them together, wait 24 to 48 hours till you post the next one, and then track what happened in that time, okay? You can literally write it down on a notebook. You can do it on a laptop, track it on notes, right? Avoid identical duplicates, avoid too many variables, and avoid checking results too early. Let it run. Let it run. 24 hours is not enough to see what a video is doing, okay? I've seen videos post, they do like a 1K views, and 3 weeks later, they'll blow up to 1 million, okay? You have to let this content run. But anyway, the most important thing that I wanted to run through, right? This is the biggest thing that creators just don't understand, and it's crazy the amount of creative directors in agencies, the amount of people that don't understand how to do this, okay? And this is actually understanding it from how the platforms work themselves. This is not just, oh, we've tried it with a few creators and this is what you should do. Absolutely not, right? And if people are saying this to you, if agencies are saying, oh, it's working for a few of our other creators, is that really enough information to base their decisions on? Is that really enough information to guide you on? I don't think it is. So what is it then? Compliant content wins. Every single piece of content that we post for our creators, and it's tens of thousands per month, gets put through a compliance checker first. This compliance checker, right, is more strict than the platforms themselves. I mean, every single piece of content that we put out onto the platform, right, 99.9% accuracy, is going to be compliant. Therefore, it's going to stay on your account. It's going to limit the amount of shadow bans and bans that you're getting. So you're going to have more momentum heading into the end of this year, and you're going to have a much better time on social media. So I just wanted to run through that. If you want to get access to this, just shoot me a message and we can have a conversation about it. But what else? What creates compliant content, right? Unique content. So what I've set up here, we're not just spamming the same video on trial reels, same video, right? You're going to get flagged for that. What we are doing is we're creating unique variations of that content. And even better, if you can, record the same video in multiple outfits, for example. So you're guaranteed for it to be a unique piece of content. Outfits with context then. For example, you guys are probably experiencing a lot of shadow bans, specifically if you're like a swimwear creator, if you are a creator that posts a lot of tight gym wear skits, for example, you're a skit-based creator, right? If you post a picture, a video where you've got a bikini on and you're in a bedroom, right? That is an outfit without context, right? Why are you wearing a bikini in a bedroom? That's exactly what the AI algorithm is thinking. Humans are no longer looking at your content. They've got rid of them. They fired thousands of human employees. They're using AI. And this is the kind of thing that is catching a lot of creators out. If you're not posting content where your outfit is in a location that has context, i.e. a swimsuit, by a pool, if you're not doing this with your content, you're going to struggle a lot more with flags. And it is specifically with those swimwear creators that you see. Those kind of swimwear outfits are the ones getting you flagged. And kind of moving on to this one, which kind of relates to what we've just spoken about, is sexuality placed right. Now, what I mean by this is there's a lot of creators getting caught out where they're wearing something outrageous. They're talking about, even if it's a skit, they're just talking about something that's a little bit crazy to get views, right? I get it. We want to get views. We want to get followers. But the biggest thing here is that if we are talking about something outrageous, wearing something outrageous, that's going to flag the algorithm twice, and you're going to end up with a lot more shadow bans. Okay, so talk about something, be funny, be relatable, wear a low-cut top, for example, or have a tight outfit on, but don't always double it up with a crazy topic as well. All right, use code words for things. Okay, if we're talking about something that we really shouldn't be for the laughs, for social media, for views, then use code words. All right. If you want to see an example of how that's done perfectly, again, shoot me a message. I can send you some videos of how you need to make sure that is being done. But again, with all of our creators, we're moving away from that completely. Okay, we are doing something a lot different, and we'll get onto it in a second. Humor wins. Guys, being funny on the internet, who would have thought, right? Back even from the Vine days, that whole platform was grown from being funny, right? Even TikTok used to be Musical.ly, right? That was a platform based on lip syncs, dance trends, right? And it's kind of transitioned into a place where if you are relatable and funny, you're going to have a good time, right? And it also doesn't rely on the sexuality of your content to get views. That's not what we want to be doing. That's going to get you shadow banned. So use humor, okay? Along with that, you want to use relatability, okay? People love seeing things on social media that makes them feel validated, right? It makes them feel like what they're doing in life is the right thing to do. It is another factor that we are pairing with relatability and humor. And if you get all three right, your content 9 times out of 10 is going to do very well. Again, if you want to see examples of this, shoot me a message and I'll get you over something to have a play with. However, the final thing that I wanted to run through, the biggest thing that we are doing with our creators that we're seeing these kind of successes, we are putting it through compliance checkers that we've built. We are getting 25,000 followers in a single 30-day window, all right? And by the way, we're almost at 2K new followers per day now with this creator. Anyway, aside from the point, but the biggest thing that we are doing to make these moves is the following. Branded content wins, and it always will. I'm going to be honest with you. This, if you're getting offended by this, then you're probably not the kind of creator that one, we would work with, but two, is going to actually implement this information that I've just told you today, right? No one cares about you until you give them a new reason to. Copying trends is not enough. Copying the same links that your agency, hey guys, copy these 7 reels, these links, it's not enough. Okay, and if that's the kind of thing you're getting, or if that's the kind of thing that you're basing all of your content off of, well, you know, it's worked for this creator, it will work for me. Unfortunately, you will be forgotten about this year. 2027, you won't be around as an influencer. You would have given up, you would have burnt out, or you would have just been totally forgotten about, because creators understand this principle of branded content. Being in a niche is no longer enough, right? Being in the football space, being a streamer, being a gamer, being a makeup influencer, for example, lifestyle influencer, Pokemon influencer, fashion influencer, a car creator, all of these things are no longer enough. These niches don't make you different, and nobody will care about you for it. You need to master branded content. And I don't mean logos, I don't mean banners. Like, this is not corporate branding, right? What I mean by branded content is every single moving piece in a video now has to be thought about. Outfits, locations, lighting, what kind of creators you may be collabing with, for example. The props that you have in the background, the props that you are holding, the signs on the wall in the back. And there is a whole list of others, okay? If you have a combination of all of these different moving parts along with the niche that you are in, and it's creative directed in the right way, then this content is going to win. And you won't get forgotten about, and you won't get brushed under the carpet this year, okay? Branded content also aligns with the content styles you're creating. Are you talking, right? Are we interviewing people? Are we interacting with other people? Are we building something, painting something? Like, there's just so many different styles of content that people think, oh, this creator's doing really well at it. I'm going to give it a go and hope it works, right? Guessing doesn't work. Guessing doesn't get you 1 million followers. Guessing doesn't make this a full-time, genuine income that you could start investing into things with. And if you want to see how we brand our creators to win, and if you want to learn how professional creative direction is done and how real branded content is crafted from the ground up, and how to stand out even in a trend, for example, then either shoot me a message or make sure you jump yourself into this Creator Hacks channel. There's a lot of advice in there about this. And if you aren't implementing these things I've told you today, if we're not using trial routes to the capacity that they need to be, if we're not making these little basic improvements to our Instagram accounts, then like I said, you are going to get left behind this year. But if you're serious about making this work, and if you're serious about growing with your following this year, then I want to see you implementing this stuff. I want to see the results that you get once you start implementing this stuff. So shoot me a message on Instagram. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see any more creators for the most ridiculous reasons getting shadow bans, getting banned off these platforms for the stupidest things, for having an incorrect logo in the background, for an outfit being too revealing, for fraud or integrity bans, which Instagram like to do at the minute. So if you want to learn more about Instagram compliance, shoot me a message. We'll have a look at what you're currently doing and the kind of issues you're facing. And like, for free, I'll literally just tell you exactly what you need to do next to avoid these problems. If you found anything useful in this video, subscribe and like the video, purely because we're going to be coming up with a lot more advice-based videos, free advice for you to implement now to stop you losing momentum, to make sure that you're growing this year on socials and in the right ways. So you're not going to get left behind, or even worse, banned. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see any more creators for the most ridiculous reasons getting shadow bans, getting banned off these platforms for the stupidest things, for having an incorrect logo in the background, for an outfit being too revealing, for fraud or integrity bans, which Instagram like to do at the minute. So if you want to learn more about Instagram compliance, shoot me a message. We'll have a look at what you're currently doing and the kind of issues you're facing. And like for free, I'll literally just tell you exactly what you need to do next to avoid these problems. If you found anything useful in this video, subscribe and like the video purely because we're going to be coming up with a lot more advice-based videos, free advice for you to implement now to stop you losing momentum, to make sure that you're growing this year on socials and in the right ways. So you're not going to get left behind or even worse, banned.